Welcome back to another episode of Excalibur CCG TV's Talking Comics. We're your host. I'm Randy.
I'm Mark.
And we're going to be talking about new comic books that will be on the shelf Wednesday morning for Wednesday, March 14th, 2018. If you have not been to our store before, remember you can find out all the information you need for our store. Phone numbers, locations for either the Texarkana, Texas store or the Shreveport, Louisiana store on our website, ExcaliburCCG.com, or on Facebook. We are continuing to promote something that's big happening in the store that's going to be going on in April. Mark?
The Mega Sale.
Mega Sale is almost here.
Semi-annual.
Yeah. Who knows if it's going to be more. I don't know what's going on here because we're having it early this year.
True.
It's going to be April 5th through the 8th. That is Thursday through Sunday. So if you know what you want, if you feel like your savings can be a little less, then coming on Thursday is going to probably ensure that you can find what you're looking for. Saturdays and Sundays, it's a madhouse in this store. So
a madhouse. They did it. They
finally did it. Please don't be offended if I can't really chat with you during those days, because I am having to put everything into the computer and it gets very hectic during that time. But everything in the store is going to be somewhere between 10 and 75% off. That includes comic books, graphic novels, toys, merchandise of other sorts, statues, cards,
everything in the
games.
store.
Yeah, everything in the store. If you point at it and ask, our response will, I will say 99% of the time be, yes, that's marked down. Because there may be the one thing someone will find and we'll go, oh, no, that's not. Once before we carried a guy's paintings and those weren't on sale because that was someone else's work, not the store's. So be prepared for that. Come in, go through, look up things that are on your list, make note of it, and then be prepared to shop, spend money. Your tax refunds should possibly be in, so it is the perfect time to help us out.
So give it to us.
Give it to us. That's
help
what
us,
I'm
help
saying.
You. Get rid of it.
Help us help you. Help us help you. We don't have a whole lot of comics that are number ones coming out this week. They're finally giving you a little bit of breathing, relaxation,
Before
time
the
to recover.
onslaught.
Yes, absolutely. Before Infinity War, and whatever else that DC's doing, just absolutely drowning you. All the Superman stuff.
Yeah, all the Superman. Well, yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of supering going on, and we'll talk about that a little bit later here. But for number ones, Mark's going to start us off.
Oh, okay. From DC Comics, Eternity Girl #1 of 6 by Magdalene Visaggio and art by Sonny Liu. Carolyn Sharp has been a lot of things, including both a superhero and a super spy. But now, with those days behind her and her powers proving unreliable, Caroline finds herself stuck in a life weighed down by her depression and an inability to change. You see, Caroline is going to live forever, and there is no escape. Just being alive reminds her that to the rest of existence, she is an anomaly. All that could change, however, when her old foe, Madame Atom, comes to her with an intriguing offer. Madame Atom can give Caroline the power to end her life. She just has to destroy the rest of the world. This is a brand new Young Animal miniseries, and it spins out of Milk Wars.
Does Madame Atom have an Adam's apple?
Well,
one can only tell. Wait to see. From Image Comics, we have Infidel #1, 5-issue series, written by Pornsack Pickett Schott and drawn by Aaron Campbell.
Pikachu.
Both huge fans of horror comics, and so they are bringing you this horror series. A haunted house story for the 21st century. Infidel follows an American Muslim woman and her multiracial neighbors who move into a building haunted by entities that feed off xenophobia. So, very relevant to some things that might be going on today. It just happens to be, it looks to me, if I were to hazard a guess, that Pornsack may be Indonesian, somewhere around the area there. You know, we have a lot of comic creators that come out of that area. That's just me taking a guess off the top of my head. But one of the things he said is that he has many friends that are, you know, come from all different ethnicities, races, whatever term we want to use, and so that's what he's familiar with, and that's what he was wanting to use within the story. So, write what you know. That's,
Go Pornsack.
Always greatest name ever.
Yeah.
We'll figure out where exactly he's from, but that's just me taking a guess.
Okay. Next up for me from Dark Horse is another installment of American Gods. This is American Gods Might Ainsell, number 1. I'm not sure if that's ongoing or if that's
Probably 12 issues. I think that's what the other was, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't think it ever told us how long it was.
P. Craig Russell co-writing and doing the art, and the cover art by Glenn Fabry. The bizarre road trip across America continues as our heroes gather reinforcements for the imminent God War. Shadow and Wednesday leave the house on the rock and continue their journey across the country where they set up aliases, meet new gods, and prepare for war. The Hugo Bram Stoker Locust World Fantasy Nebula award-winning novel and hit Stars Television. My God, everything. Neil Gaiman is adapted as a graphic novel. So I guess this is like another part of the novel.
They've probably broken it into like 3 parts or something. I think that's similar to what they did with the Strain, if I can remember that correctly. Because I think the Strain was it just one book?
No, there's several.
Were there several? Oh, well. This was just one book. I know they had a sequel that did come out, but that was called like the Anasi Boys or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
But I don't think that's delving into that area yet. Marvel Comics, with the announcement that there should be a New Mutants movie coming out sometime. They're doing reshoots on it right now.
They're adding a whole new character.
Yeah.
Which means reshoots and redial. Oh my God, that just sounds like a mess to me.
A lot to it. Hopefully that won't destroy whatever they're doing there. But capitalizing off of bringing that or having that movie coming out, they're giving us New Mutants Dead Souls #1 6-issue series. Matt Rosenberg is on board, and Adam Gorham will be joining him as the artist. Ryan Stegman will be giving you some very nice looking covers. They aren't just the X-Men in training anymore. This time, the New Mutants are launching themselves headfirst into some of the creepiest corners of the Marvel Universe, going on the missions no one else will. I don't know why other people won't go on the missions.
There's so many.
I mean, we're not brave enough to go on this mission.
Every other hero and team doesn't want to do it. So.
Yeah. But does the team know what they are really hunting for? What are they willing to do to get it? The enigmatic Magic will lead their team of Wolfsbane, Richter, Boom Boom, and Strong Guy. Not necessarily your old school New Mutants team there. And bring them face to face with paranormal threats that they might not be prepared for. And it just might tear their team apart. So you're getting...
Tearing me apart.
Tearing them apart. We're getting X-Factor, New Mutants, and X-Force characters all kind of crammed in on that team, but that's good. I like diversity. I like us not having Storm and Wolverine and you know, Colossus on every single team. So you've got so many mutants. Give us a book with some of those different mutants.
All right. Next up for me from Archie Comics, the Archie horror thing. Vampironica #1. From Greg Smallwood and Megan Smallwood doing the writing, and Greg Smallwood doing the art.
Yeah, and one of the covers. They've got
they've got
handful.
They've got a Francavilla cover too.
Yeah,
which
looks
pretty.
good.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be an ongoing. And when Veronica is bitten by a centuries-old vampire, her thirst for blood threatens to turn Riverdale Into a haven for the undead. Will she put an end to the vampire threat or give in to her bloodlust? So, new Archie horror. We got Jughead as a werewolf, Veronica as a vampire, and we got Archie and Betty fighting zombies, and
Sabrina, dark magic.
Cthulhu stuff in the
Yeah,
Sabrina
a lot
book.
of Cthulhu. Actually, they brought that up. I don't know if they did in the main series, but they brought that up in one of the Archie Afterlife with Archie books.
They're supposedly dropping hints about that on the Riverdale show too.
Oh, so Riverdale's going to take a very strange turn.
Makes me want to watch that.
So those are the number ones. We do have a couple of books that are coming out that tie into very important storylines, important for comic book fans.
Yes.
First up is Action Comics number 999. This is the last Action Comics that will have 3 digits in it, unless they decide to restart it for some reason.
Renumber.
That's right.
Legacy.
This will be Dan Jurgens'
Fresh start.
final issue, as far as his current run.
Well, no, he's got that special.
Yeah, he's
closes it out.
there. Oh, well, he's there, but yeah, on the main
Right.
series
Right.
here, and then Brett Booth will be joining him for the art. I think that's just the inker on board there, Norman Rapman. He's been with all sorts of Image guys forever. This story's called The General, everybody.
Ooh, is it about the insurance, car insurance, little dude?
Him and Shaq. It's still in The General, baby. I wanted to do a Shaq voice, and I didn't have anything to say with it. I guess I could. Superman's journey through time. I can't do the look though. The one eye kind of looking over. Superman's journey through time crashes to a halt, and it's because this is the first time in which General Sam Lane will get to meet his grandson John. Not really his grandson, but I guess kind of his grandson. I don't know what's going on there. They folded worlds, so I don't know.
They did.
Which character's which. So buckle up for the most awkward super family reunion in the history of the DC universe, because it's about to begin. It's going to be even crazier and more awkward than Ambush Bug and Son of Ambush Bug. I don't know. Son of Vulcan and Vulcan. I don't know what else there is. Batman and Damien. That was a pretty awkward situation there.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Last for you is...
Last for me, Avengers number 684.
If you were Nick Cage, you would be reading this book with your green lenses. Why, though?
This is the one everybody's been waiting for. This is No Surrender Part 10 from Mark Waid, Joe Bennett, Paco Medina, but it's the return of Banner Hulk.
That's right.
Bruce Banner is back. Back from the dead. He cannot be reasoned with. He will not be stopped. Bruce Banner isn't home right now. There is only the immortal Hulk. So this is like the thing where it doesn't matter what happens to Bruce Banner, the Hulk's going to come out at night kind of thing. So this is where it starts.
Bruce Banner's not here, man. So, saying goodbye to the previous Superman teams. Everybody will get a chance on a special there to make their final adieus, and then welcoming back a longtime character in Marvel Universe. 2 books that, if you're a comic book collector, should probably be in your collection.
Yep. One more. There, just if anybody's following the Doctor Strange Damnation storyline. The Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider issue, and there's a Doctor Strange issue out this week. So
Okay, so we have 2 books that are
2 tie-ins to it. Yep.
Now, remember, for the most part, I think that the tie-ins have been touching upon stuff, but they're not.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Yeah, they're not like part 3 and part 4 of
Right.
the series there. So, get it if you're wanting to collect the tie-ins, but you're not going to miss the main story on it. There's been quite a big bit of news this week as far as it goes with comic books in the media that we're familiar with and that we talk about here on the show, and the media that is television and movie news. we have longtime comic book lover and artist Rob Liefeld, who has agreed to a huge deal at Netflix, and he is bringing a lot of his beloved Extreme Universe characters to Netflix. We're talking about Brigade and Bloodstrike, who I think those two have the longest running series of all these characters. The rest of them, it's just very short runs, and then they would restart. Rejects, Blood Wolf, Kaboom, and there's probably a few other even lesser known characters there. So if you are one of those chasers, get ready to start finding those first appearances, because just like everything else right now, when it goes to the
bigger little screen,
yeah, then suddenly everything's
everybody wants it.
Everybody wants them. And we have some news, Mark. Who's playing Bloodshot in the movie?
Oh, that would be Vin Diesel.
Groot is Bloodshot.
I am Bloodshot.
And that's a book that's a little harder to get a hold of if you're looking for the first appearance of Bloodshot. But I mean, that's huge news, because you're going to get to see Vin Diesel in. He was in Triple X, wasn't he?
Triple X, yeah.
Which was, but I mean, that wasn't a comic book movie. Triple X was an actual comic book series from Dark Horse back in the day.
Yeah.
And so, other than just saying one or two or three words like "I am Groot," he is actually getting to talk and portray a character, mercenary, I think, who regenerates. So he's a cool cat. If you're not familiar with him, read some. I would recommend when they restarted the whole universe here a couple of years ago, Dwayne Swarzynski gave us a really cool Bloodshot series. On the comic book side of things, real quickly, because I don't think they've gone into too much detail, they've just announced that DC is going to be giving us a Sandman universe, where they have 3 or 4 books planned already for this universe. Neil Gaiman will be overseeing it, but he's not going to be writing anything, as far as I know.
I don't think so. It's just kind of the editor-in-chief of that little corner.
Yeah. Other than that, the other big one that DC gave us this week is the announcement of their Black Label line. And within that line, you're going to have it kicking off with Kelly Sue DeConnick and Phil Jimenez giving us a Wonder Woman graphic novel. It's an original graphic novel called Wonder Woman Historia, the Amazons. What else do we have from them? From the Black Label?
There's another Wonder Woman, something about her daughter.
Diana's Daughter. That's the working title right now. Greg Rucka is writing it. We don't know an artist on that one. Frank Miller and John Romita Jr. are giving us Superman Year One. Maybe he battles Batman in this one and kicks Batman's butt, because Frank Miller, that's what he said. Yeah. What he says. The one that everybody's probably looking forward to is Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo on board Batman again for Batman Last Night with a K on Earth. And unfortunately, I'm looking more so forward to the other Batman book that was announced that Brian Azzarello and Lee Bermejo are on board for, called Batman Damned. If you need to ask me why this is, I'm more interested in that one, go pick up the original graphic novel Joker that creative team was on, and you will quickly see why I'm looking forward to that. But, Mark at first was like, I don't know that there's really much news that came out of con there, and I guess they've waited to they mentioned the Superman, or the Sandman universe.
Yeah, they did.
But then a few days later, they dropped the Black Label and
actually put out some titles. We knew about the Black Label thing, but we didn't have any titles.
I think we'd known about that for quite some time.
Yeah.
They had mentioned that was going to happen, and we should say that with the Black Label line, that is going to be the more mature line. How mature, I don't know. I don't know that they're going to have
how far are they going to take it?
Yeah, the Superman sitting in a stall with a kryptonite needle shooting something up. If Garth Ennis was writing it, we'd get that. But we already got a lot of that with The Boys and The Pro. So, if you have not read Garth Ennis' take on the Justice League, either one of those books,
Great Scott!
Great Scott, you need to read it. We are to our new segment. I'll let you do a little lead in here.
The back issues of the week. Okay. This is where we kind of just pull out a couple of issues that we enjoyed from yesteryear. And I'm still on my old school Marvel thing. This one was, I had been reading Fantastic Four for a little bit, and I loved the Thing. He was one of my favorite characters. And then I saw this one on the stands, and I snapped it up really quick. This is Marvel Feature number 12, and it is a team up with the Thing and Iron Man, and they're battling the Blood Brothers, who are kind of cosmic vampires. The Thing's wandering through the desert. The issue before this, he fought the Hulk, which I didn't know about back then. I just read that one later on. This one was kind of a lead-in to Marvel 2-in-1. Marvel Feature got canceled after this issue and changed to Marvel 2-in-1, which was always the Thing and somebody. The issues before, the two Thing issues on this were, I think, all Ant-Man. They may have had somebody else like in the first couple, but it was most of it was Ant-Man Adventures, which are good too. But this one, yeah, the Thing was wandering through the desert, and inexplicably the Blood Brothers attack, and inexplicably Iron Man flies by and helps him out. So it's goofy, comic book fun, but it's a fun book, and I recommend kind of getting the whole Marvel Feature, Marvel 2-in-1 thing, because that was a pretty cool run.
Now, that's one of those things that I'm surprised doesn't happen in comic books more, where you have someone fighting, and with everybody being based in New York, why someone else, within the Marvel Universe, why someone else isn't flying by and go, oh, well, let me swoop down and help with that.
I don't like him. I'm going to let him get his butt kicked.
Yeah.
He's going to fly on by.
So that's cool that actually, do you know who the creative team was on that?
I don't remember, but I can find out.
We can find that out while he's...
I think Joe Sennett was involved.
While he's doing that, well, we'll take just a moment here and figure that one out.
We got this. Jim Starlin on the art,
nice.
Mike Friedrich writer.
I actually really like that first page.
Joe Sennett doing the inking, who was, inked a lot of Kirby stuff. So, yeah, it's a fun book.
It's a pretty looking book, guys.
Fun stuff.
It's at the store.
And it's got a Thanos appearance, kind of.
And if you're not sure if you should pick it up, we do have a sale coming up here.
Absolutely.
That may be the great time to check that one out. Or check out my pick. I went with JSA #1. Why? Because when I first got involved with reading the DC Universe, I tried out Superman, I tried out Batman, didn't really care for the big two there. Wonder Woman, there were some good stories there. There were some stories I didn't really care about what was going on. And I was kind of frustrated because those are supposed to be the guys that you like. However, I came across, it wasn't the #1, but later on in the series, the Justice Society. And what this book did was it took the Golden Age trio of Wildcat, Jay Garrett Flash, and Alan Scott Green Lantern, and it brought them into the modern day times along with a new generation of heroes. And it introduced to us to legacy characters for a lot of the older heroes, Hourman and Dr. Midnight, and one of my favorites, Mr. Terrific. So this was one of those that James Robinson was on board to write it, and actually he does movies now, but was James Goyer, John Goyer?
Goyer, yeah.
But Goyer, who does a lot of horror films, he was on...
He did Blade.
Wrote this, that's right, he did do Blade. And they don't have it on the front here, but this was one of the first books that Jeff Johns was working DC, on. He wrote this with these guys, and you had the wonderful artist Steven Sadowski that you don't really see. He pops up here and there every now and then, but he's not a mainstay on any book. But this was just a team that there was a lot more heart to the team, and it was something where they were a family that looked out for each other, and it had a totally different vibe for me than the Justice League. So it was a good alternative if DC's planning on doing something with it again, but it's wrapped up with possibly with Doomsday Clock down the road here at the moment. So they can't do it yet. But you know, if you haven't read this run, I would definitely recommend jumping in on this. You know, nothing's too terribly expensive with it, and you know, some of it crossed over with Hawkman.
Yeah, they brought Hawkman back.
But yeah, that was
series.
The Search for Hawkman was with that, and he was a character that I don't know how long gone he was for a while there.
It was a few years.
But yeah, it just, you know, Stargirl, Power Girl, all sorts of the characters. You know, I think you see Black Canary on the cover, but I don't think she lasted with the group there for too long.
I don't remember her being in there very long.
She went off to do the Birds of Prey was where she left to go. But I mean, seeing the old school Sandman and Sandy kind of grow up to be that the new character there, just fun read. And when they get into down the line, get into the Black Adam stuff, it is phenomenal.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Because they have this whole thing with, you know, Black Adam's the leader of Kondak, however you say his imaginary nation, and they have to question this thing. He is, you know, killing someone who steals or does this or that. Is he necessarily doing something wrong? Because as the leader of his nation, that's the law he has set forth. So they were looking at gray areas with a lot of that, and it did divide some of the team during that time. But great read. I actually want to take a look more at that because that is some beautiful Starlin art there.
Yeah, good stuff.
So beyond that, we have a lot that we've fed you this week. We talked about new comics, some big storylines, the back issues of the week, and a lot of movie and comic book news here. Feel free in the comments below to talk about all of that. Talk about what you have on your pull list as well. I'm kind of sad because what is it? The Dark Crystal, Power of the Dark Crystal is wrapping up this week. So, you know, there's a hole in my life now. But you can do all the regular things you do here: like, share, subscribe, comment on our video, and make sure that you go to ExcaliburCCG.com to follow us, to add any of these books to your subscription list, and just, you know, keep in touch with us. Anything else you want to add to this?
I'm good.
All right. Well, Mark's going to hobble on out here. Until next week, guys, read great comics, and we will see you then. Bye.